This is the Adrian Ross Show. Just going to get into it real quick. I had a Facebook topic a couple weeks ago, and it said I said that I got an academic scholarship to go to Colorado State. I played defensive end for 4 years. I came in as a linebacker. I played defensive end for 4 years there, and I said I went to the National Football League and played linebacker for 6 years. Who taught me how to play linebacker? I brought up Joey Porter was a wide receiver at Colorado State for 2 years. Moved to defensive end his last 2 years. Clark Hagens came in as a walk-on tight end and played defensive end at Colorado State for 4 years. And he also went to the NFL and played linebacker. Who taught us all how to play linebacker was my question. And I'm just going to address this show off of some of the people's questions toward me was some of them, I guess, were trying to say that I was given the narrative as if I didn't learn anything in college. And that's not what I said. I asked a question, first of all. So there's nowhere in there that I say I didn't learn anything in college. I definitely learned a lot in college. But I was talking about something very specific. And I was saying that because I've been talking to a lot of people, hearing a lot of different subjects on college athletics. And there's a lot of assumptions for people that are never involved in it. And I think one of the major assumptions is that these athletes go off to college and they learn more things, then they go pro. Well, that's the case probably for the majority of them. But there's some of us who change positions. In particular, me, Joey Porter, Clark Hagens, because we played defensive end, we were labeled a tweener, and that we projecting to the NFL, we had to be an outside linebacker in a 3-4, which when you look at it, I went to the Bengals outside linebacker in 3-4 in a Dick LeBeau system. Clark and Joey went to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a Dick LeBeau system, outside linebacker 3-4. So what I'm saying by that is, for us, we learned a lot of the skills that we had at defensive end. The defensive end position is tailor-made for that outside backer in the pros at linebacker. So actually, we did learn a lot from playing defensive end for the position that we came into the league. Me and Joey, Clark never really played inside, but 1 year Joey actually was the nickel linebacker on third down and dime, and I think he got a lot of picks that year. He got a lot of interceptions because he just has the skill set to be able to do that. I was a guy that could play all the positions in any defense. I can all the linebacker positions. 4-3, Sam, Mike, Will, 3-4, Buck, Mac, left, right, outside linebacker, and I actually did it in games, like lived it, not just I did that for practice. I actually did it in one game. Actually played all the spots. And that's why me and my coach, that coach at that time was the defensive coordinator was Dick LeBeau. Linebacker coach was Mark Duffner, who's the linebacker coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who watched a couple nights ago the HBO series. I forgot the name of the darn series now, where they show inside the camp, but it's on Tampa Bay Bucks. Hard Knocks. It's called Hard Knocks. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So hopefully we'll see Coach Duffner, great coach. But when he came to get me out of Colorado State, we had a lot of talks. And because of those talks, he asked me a lot about my football past. And those talks was where I was able to tell him about me playing linebacker, about coming into college, being a linebacker, because he felt that I had the ability to be able to play inside backer as well. So the question I posed on Facebook was, who taught us how to play linebacker? And all I meant by that was people have skill sets already, and then there's a lot of things. If you have the ability and all you need is the opportunity and maybe someone to teach you how to use that ability. And that's the one part of college as a whole, I feel that is what I love for people, for young adults, is being around the people, having to go to class, having to go on trips. There's a lot of different things that anybody is going to learn through that experience. But when we start talking about specifics, right? It's like when you get there and you're in the classroom, you're in that whatever biology classroom that I was in as a freshman, and there's 300 people in there. Then when you're a senior, I'm taking classes and courses with like 10 people in the room, because that's where I was honing it in more. So when I said going to go play linebacker, well, there was a lot of different things, because in college there's skills and schemes. So now, depending on what coach you have, a lot of coaches are only teaching the players schemes. They're not giving them skill set. They're not teaching them different skills, different schools, different positions, different strategies. So I'm just giving you guys this for your own knowledge in selecting colleges, selecting coaches. Talk to the players and figure out who is who. There's a lot of schools that do a good job. At Colorado State, the front was a very big part of our defense. So we learned skills and scheme. I learned a lot at Colorado State. Pass rush, when I did move to defensive end, that was something I never worked on. So my pass rushing ability came from college. Learning how to stunt from front, basically just playing up front and playing D end. I learned a lot of more hand-to-hand combat, and having the ability to be able to go against these 300, 330 pound, 280, 290 pound guys, and being 215, 212, 220, 230. Learned a lot about leverage. So I learned a lot in college because I was played out of my natural position, which I really feel like I was just naturally a middle linebacker. But I had the ability from learning to play defensive end. But at the same time, for me, what I meant by that is I was, as you say, typecast, or I was put into a lane that wasn't, I was put into a micro lane instead of macro, where I actually had the ability to play middle and outside. But the middle part of me wasn't added to my resume because nobody saw it at college. But yet I was able to go to the NFL and start at middle because I had that ability. So when I say who taught us how to play linebacker, there's so much more to it that we didn't learn in college, because you're learning your position in that defense. So when you have coverages, so when you're a defensive lineman, unless it's a blitz where you drop, most of the time in the calls, you're not even concerned with the coverage. As you get better, you should know the coverage, because you should know what kind of coverage and how much time you're going to need and what you can do to get to the quarterback. Can you go inside? Do you have to stay outside? But at a collegiate level, I'm not really knowing what cover 2 is, cover 3, cover 4, cover 6, cover 8. Those are all things that, wasn't taught. I don't know certain zone blitzes. There's a whole lot of different schemes. So therefore, when you go off to the next level, schemes are being taught. There's a little bit of skill, but they already kind of basically expect you to have that skill. You're going to work on the fundamentals and the basics, but at the next level, you're already off and running. There's not a lot of skill teaching that goes on at the pro level. So I'm saying that to say, like, guys like Terrell Pryor, who played quarterback at Ohio State and is now a wide receiver in the National Football League. Well, yeah, a quarterback, he knows the route trees, because as a quarterback, he should have to know that. But I think it shows the skill level that they have, and that's all that I meant by that. Is just know where you're going and know what your options are and know who you are. Um, but but if you have the ability, you have the ability, and you need to go to where, be around, get the skills from whoever you need them from. Start knowing the scheme, start knowing the business. Like there's college. My message is college sports for those that have professional aspirations are more than just going there and playing. Like a lot of people are saying, oh, so and so goes to that school, and therefore, hey, in a few years, like they're going to be this. Well, they might have the ability to, but do they have the knowledge to be able to perform at the proper level? On Hard Knocks, they're showing Jeremy Nichols, running back who dominated in the Mountain West the last couple of years at running back, and he's having a hard time on Tampa right now, and they're going to probably be showing us that over the course of the show. And he's having a hard time because he has to decode his brain from Boise State's language, and he has to now get Tampa Bay's language, not only on special teams but on offense. So that process for someone being a rookie is a lot different, and it's going to be good. So you guys pay attention to that drama that goes on up on that show with that. But no, see, I'm all Colorado State out. It's not a shot to people. People always want to make something be negative. I learned a lot from Coach John Skladany, Tom Mellers, and Thurman Moore. Learned a lot from playing defensive end. Just playing the games, learning how to compete, going against different talent. We had Sacramento's Ephraim Salam. When it gets him, Kyle Turley, Adam True from Nebraska. There was a lot of great linemen, a lot of competition that just by being out there on the field, being in the games, and there's game situations. There's a lot of things that you can learn just playing and getting the experience. But it means something totally different to have an understanding of where, if you're going to be a professional, and what you need to know and the skills you need to have to play at that level. And I think that some of these high school and some of these college coaches need to understand that, with some of these players, this is their livelihood. And some of these coaches are out there messing with guys' livelihoods, and or they're not allowing them to maximize who they are. It's great to now I fully understand on the other side, coaches have their job at where they're at in college or in high school. But when the opportunity presents itself, I think that there's a lot more opportunities that coaches can look out for said players and help them help these players out in going places, just as teachers are to do. Teachers are supposed to arm the students with knowledge so they can have the knowledge. For high school teachers, they're trying to teach the young students to be able to go on and go do whatever else it is in life that they're going to do, whether it's going to go to tech school, whether they're going to go in whatever industry it is. It's giving them something to arm themselves to move on. And I feel that not a lot, but there's some coaches out there that are just not really giving skills. They're just teaching schemes and for themselves, but yet they're preaching team. And it's like, well, team, like we kind of all need to benefit. We all need to benefit, not just, okay, well, everyone else needs to sacrifice for your coaching benefit. So it can't be team said, but then you're a coach that's only doing for you. It's great because you have the title and you're able to say team, 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 team. But then if you're able to look at certain things, well, what part of the team are you? What What part of being team are you adding to it, coach? And that's what I mean by that. Like so when you go to college, there's a lot. It's like you look at Christian McCaffrey. Stanford gave him opportunities. There's a lot of colleges that, oh, hey, you're the starting running back. You can't return kicks. You can't be on kickoff. You can't do this. You can't do that. Now there's a protection level of it, but there's sometimes that some guys need to be showcased. You look at Peppers for Michigan last year. They labeled him a linebacker. He played DB. He returned punts. He returned kicks. He was in at wide receiver. Well, Harbaugh gave him that opportunity to showcase his talents. Mike Vrabel, when he was at the Patriots, they bring him in on goal line and throw touchdown passes to him. Well, there's a whole lot of linebackers that are talented and gifted like that, but there's not the coaches that are giving them the opportunity to show that they can do that. It doesn't make those guys just be unicorns, but it does on the flip if they're the only ones getting the opportunity to do that. It's just like Charles Woodson when he was at Michigan. They threw him in on offense a few times, just like they did Deion Sanders. And when you look at it, those are the guys at that level that were up for Heisman's or winning the Heisman's because they were getting those opportunities. And so I say, just as a coach, it's cool to have guys that are talented, but I think it's a detriment to you and to them to just not showcase all of their talents because they have it and just to fit a scheme. And then it's also wrong just to only teach scheme. It's also wrong to only teach skill. You need to teach skill and scheme. But hey, for the athletes, for the parents, for the players, check out what school, what team, what coach it is, and figure out what they are. Talk to the players and understand what they are. Because yeah, college is very nice. I had a great time. Once again, I had a great time in college. I learned a lot. So despite what other people want to try to say or comment, I did learn a lot in college. And but at the same time, I had the ability. I learned a lot application of linebacker. I came in as a linebacker, so I learned a few things my red shirt year at Colorado State about linebacker, but I didn't get to apply that for 4 years. So the coverage part of it for me was very new when I got to the NFL. Other than me playing and being real good in Madden, if I wouldn't have been playing that, I would have been really lost. And so I'm thankful for John Madden, EA Sports. But yeah, this is all information for you guys. I have the Adrian Ross Show to just try to give you guys the other side of it. It's never about hate. Well, I'm not gonna say never about hate. If it's about some hate, it's still a learning lesson within there too. But now this is all for you guys' knowledge. That's all I want to do. You learn a lot in college. For the most guys, this is I'm only talking to a small few that have the ability to play different positions. But yeah, my advice is play what you want and play what you need to play if you have dreams of going to the pros, because the pros are going to be looking at you for what you're doing in college, unless you have coaches that are going to advocate for you and tell the next level that, hey, say in my case, I don't know what the coaches said, but I don't know if the coaches, but what they should have said was, hey, Ross was a defensive end. We moved him to Ross was a linebacker. We moved him to defensive end. We felt he had pass rush ability. We needed some more depth at defensive end, so we moved him there, but really he's a linebacker. So to give these pros and these scouts some knowledge, some background of who I was, and not just, well, look at his film when he played DN and he has some pass rush and he'll be good on special teams. That's not telling them anything. That's not giving them, they can put the tape on and see I'm good on special teams and see I'm good at pass rush. You coaches need to give the scouts and these general managers and these owners and these coaches what they can't see on the film. Tell them that part. Don't tell them about what the hell they could see on the film. But again, appreciate it. Oh, that was 20 minutes. Got this done. I hear they're outside mowing. Hope you guys can't hear that. Hope you can really hear me. But again, thanks. Leave your comments down there. Follow me on Instagram, Adrian Ross _ Madbacker, Mad with 2 D's, MADDBACKER. If this is on, I'm probably going to do the little clips on Facebook, but subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Madbacker. You know, go to my YouTube channel. I have a lot of stuff. Check out the other shows. Leave your comments up below. Let me know what topics you guys would like to talk about. Follow me on Twitter. That's Madbacker as well. My Facebook personal page, Adrian Ross, and the fan page, Adrian Ross. All right, appreciate you guys.